Welcome back to Culinary Alchemy. The holidays are upon us, and I'm really excited because I get to make a variety of different cookies and sweet treats to send to all of my friends. First up in the series, I'm going to be demonstrating how to make gingerbread biscotti. First thing to do is to position your oven rack in the middle of your oven and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then go find yourself a cookie sheet, line it with parchment paper, and set it aside. Now it's time to gather the dry ingredients that we'll need for making these cookies. For this recipe, you'll need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, but don't put your flour away because you'll need it later to dust your fingers with when rolling out your dough. You'll also need 1 1/4 cups of packed light brown sugar and a mixture of spices and leavenings. In this bowl, I have 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon of table salt, 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Now I'm going to take all of the dry ingredients and place them in the bowl of my stand-up mixer. And using the paddle attachment, I'm going to mix the ingredients together on medium-low speed until they're blended. Make sure that you really only do it on medium-low, otherwise you might find yourself in a cloud. When the flour mixture is well blended, which takes just about a couple of minutes, it's time to add some fruit and nuts. For this, I have 1 cup of coarsely chopped pecans and a 1/2 cup of coarsely chopped dried apricots. And I'm going to add those right into the bowl and just mix it really briefly, still on medium-low, until they're incorporated. And now for our wet ingredients. In this little measuring cup, I have a 1/4 cup of dark molasses. To it, I'm going to add 2 eggs and 2 teaspoons of grated orange zest. And I'm going to whisk them until they're mixed. And once they are, I'm going to turn the mixer on to low speed, and I'm going to add the wet mixture to the dry mixture and blend it until it's combined. Pour this mixture in slowly to get it going. And then you can boost it up just 1 and continue to blend it until the dough comes together and it's moist. When the cookie dough is ready to go, this is what it should look like. Nice and moist and slightly clumped. Now it's ready to turn out onto our work surface. You want to turn it out onto an unfloured work surface and divide it into equal portions. I'm making mini biscotti because I have lots to send out, so I'm going to divide mine into 4 equal portions. But if you want to make standard size biscotti, just divide yours into 2. Looks about even. I'm going to set 3 aside for now, and working with 1 at a time, I'm going to form my log. And for mine, I'm going to form it into a log that's about 3/4 inches wide and about 10 inches long. This dough is slightly sticky, so that's what the extra flour is for. You can just dip your fingers into the flour if you find that they're sticking lots to your dough. But don't over flour it because that could dry the biscotti out even more. One thing I love about making biscotti as a cookie to send, as well as to eat, is that they have a great shelf life and they are really good cookie to ship. Just about there. When you've got it to the thickness and length that you like, transfer it to your lined cookie sheet and continue to form the other balls, in the same manner. When you put them on the cookie sheet, you want to make sure that they're a couple of inches apart because they will spread out during baking time. They're ready to go into our oven. We're going to put them in our oven and bake them for about 25 to 30 minutes until they're cracked on top. And when you press them gently, they spring back just a little bit. So the biscotti logs have baked for about 25 minutes. And as you can see, they're cracked on the top. And when I push lightly with my finger, they spring back. I'm going to leave them on this rack to cool for about 10 minutes so that I'm able to handle them, and then they'll be ready to slice into individual biscotti. When your biscotti logs are cool enough to handle, remove them to a cutting board and one at a time cut them on a slight angle into about 1/2 inch thick biscotti slices. When you have all of them cut, place them back on the sheet tray, cut side down, and we're going to put them back in our oven to crisp up a little bit more, and that process takes about 5 or 10 minutes. The biscotti are all cut and ready to go into the oven one more time. As you can see, they're really tightly packed, and that's okay because they've grown all they're going to grow. So we're going to put them back into the oven for about 5 or 10 more minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 5 and check after them to see if they're crisp. I checked the biscotti after 5 minutes and seemed like they could go just a little bit longer. So these have cooked a total of 10 minutes. Let's give them a check. Just the way I like them. Firm, but still a little bit moist and chewy because they will continue to crisp up as they dry. Enjoy your gingerbread biscotti and be sure to stay tuned in for more in the holiday series of cookies.